Greetings and welcome. You are watching and listening to Turtle Soup. This is your boy Ryan.
Hey, it's your boy Easy.
And once again, it's Turtle Soup, everybody, the internet and the world's only community-supported podcast dedicated to the ongoing journey of the TMNT, all the way from the very beginning.
Very beginning.
Until I break what I believe is my highest record for number of places I've gone for groceries in one day, which is 4.
Is that the same thing as being
4.
bad? Like when you go to fast food restaurants, like and get one thing for
it is the polar opposite of being bad. I guess it's being bad by not spending a lot of money on groceries, and being good to yourself. But,
right.
We went to Walgreens, a combination for the family's soda and grocery needs. We went to Walgreens,
Sam's,
Target, and Publix.
Dang.
I made a whole spreadsheet comparing the prices we were paying at Publix to where it could be gotten cheaper.
Yeah.
And wound up saving what I estimate is around between 35 and 40% on our total groceries.
Oh, dang.
And I made it. That was my project this week. That's what awesome. I dedicated myself to pretty much, with a lot of help from off-screen producer Brad, who is used to shopping like it's the apocalypse. And he's only got about 5 bottle caps to spend on all of his groceries. I leaned on him heavily for optimization and logistics. He's a logistics man, and I leaned heavily on all of that. Plus, he's an Excel expert, so he helped me make my Excel spreadsheet better than it ever could have been with my poor ass using it.
Man.
So until I go to 5 places, we are good. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, right.
We are good to go. We are also good to be live on YouTube. You know what I'm saying? So if you're listening to audio podcast or you haven't really given us a shot over here, check it out. If you're here checking us out, thank you so much. Just don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell notifications so you get all the little comments and all the little notifications when we're live, when we put out new videos. We're doing news a lot of weeks. Not doing it this week, but most weeks we have some hot news that we clip out of the show, but you get to see it live if you're here Thursday at 8 o'clock. So, we're live on YouTube, and share the stream if you can on social media, on Facebook, stuff like that. It would really help people see that we're live and increase the visibility of the show. It's a huge help. Another thing that helps the hell out of us, you know what I'm saying, and stops things from saying clang and everything like that, is our beautiful patrons. We have 2 patrons to call out today. They'd be Anders Berg and Bladeslinger 71113. You guys are amazing, as well as all of our patrons. But Anders and Bladesinger, this episode is for you. Enjoy.
Yes.
Whew. Speaking of enjoyment.
Well, speaking of that, sorry. I just wanted to add to your... No, I know. I cut you off because I wanted to... Before we moved along, I wanted to add to when you talked about watching the live show. One of my favorite things about us doing the news live is the after the news part, which is where you don't get that in the clip. We clip that out. But after the news, once we take our ties off and we get back in the prime time, we get in the chat and we talk to y'all about what y'all think, and we get real time stuff. And last week's episode, even though it was a chef special episode, we got into some stuff like digging into finding out about the physical releases of Shredder's Revenge, and I had a blast doing that. So hopefully y'all did too.
That's a great point. That's something. Yeah, no, you're right. That's something that we've really been having a lot of fun doing. And if you have any specific questions about the news and stuff, then hit us up. And we have that little section where we talk to you guys about the news and answer your questions kind of right off the bat. So that's a great point, Eric. But this could be a great point on the journey. You know what I'm saying? We're taking a step today. And,
we are.
Eric, what is that step going to be?
Man, Ryan, this day, it's very interesting because, it's May, and not only is it May,
gonna be May.
It's going to be May in the journey that we're about to partay. But oh dang, I lost it. Today in real life,
Nylon over here,
live, it is May. We're going all the way back though to the year 1997's May, and we're going to be reviewing Image Comics' Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles #9. And if you're not familiar, we'll get to it later, but it's the comic that has Leonardo with a character that looks like Batman on the cover. And you're like, why is Leo with Batman, especially in the 90s? That doesn't make any sense.
Batman?
So
what's going on?
Exactly. So we're gonna find out. We're gonna feed you, baby birds. So don't worry about it. We'll get there. But
exactly.
So that's what we're doing today. And man.
Yes.
So
I mean, we're gonna get right to it. I mean, this is a little unprecedented. You know what I mean? It's probably what at least a third of our listeners probably hope would happen every time. You know,
right?
They're gonna be like, we're gonna get right into the content. You know what I mean? But that's what we're gonna do today. So, are you ready to broach this issue of TMNT Image Comics? You know what I'm saying? Are you ready to look at this cover, my man?
I am. Let me see right now. Let me see if I can get that up for us. Here we go. Whoop. So there we go. That was the cover I was just talking about a few seconds ago. This cover is awesome. It
is.
I've seen this cover a ton, and I never really thought to look to see that was a bat behind this character, who apparently is the Night Watchman. Now,
Night Watch.
For our audio listeners, this is it's got like a blue, kind of purplish, kind of night looking, like gradient going, and you got your boy Leonardo looking. He's ready for a fight, got his swords out and everything, but he is really scared, or at least a little nervous, like a little cringy, like he's like a little bit like trepidatious, I guess you could say, and because over his right shoulder there's a man that looks like Batman without a cape, and he is lunging at Leonardo. But he is also surrounded by a ton of bats with beady red eyes. And there's one giant one behind him. And it says up at the top, the masthead, it's the same font and everything as per usual, but it's over to the right. And it says, "The Night Watchman returns!" ! So there's a lot here.
For some reason, I don't know. It doesn't look like it, kind of. But part of me says this looks like a wraparound cover to me. Just the way that everything's offset, you know what I mean? But like it's weird because the image eye is all the masthead's all the way in the top left, but there's this justification that's strange with the turtles on the right, and like that makes me feel like it's a wrap.
Yeah,
but it doesn't look white enough to be a wrap. Like it's very odd the way it's laid out.
It is. I have a memory. I have a vague impression, and this could be because you just said it, that I think it did wrap around, and all it was just more bats, like on the back. But I'm gonna check our physical copy of the Urban Legends, because sometimes they have the original cover in there somewhere.
Yeah,
I'm gonna dig through that real quick and find out.
I will say while you're doing that, I'll say that this is a cover that I gotta say, it's cool and all. I really like the kind of purple gradient, and I do like all the bats. It's a very striking image, but I will say, and this is not a problem, but this is the first image cover I think yet this run that didn't blow me away. I think that we talked a lot about how every cover lately has been just blockbuster hit after blockbuster hit, and that it really jumped off the newsstand. I'm not saying this didn't, but it's taken a step back to more of an average cover for me.
That's fair. That's fair. Yeah, I think that's leaning heavily on the fact that people might think, rightly so, that this is Batman or a Batman. Yeah. So like it's piqued your interest just on the iconography alone. And so I think they were leaning heavily on that. And but to your point, I agree. Now, real quick, I did look in the Urban Legends. It only has the cover, but I could very easily see this being wraparound and them just having a ton of more bats just on the bat. So,
yeah, absolutely. So getting into the comic. So your credits are story by Gary Carlson, art is Frank Fosco, inks Andrew Papoy, letters Chris Iliopoulos, with your editor being Eric Larson, and of course Josh Eichhorn in his assistant editor. So we're gonna do it's been a little bit, so we'll do a very short. So basically, it's very brief. So we just got done in the image run dealing with Casey's daughter, Shadow, being kidnapped by the Foot Clan, and all the lengths that the Turtles went to get her back. And they did. But this led to a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah.
Before this, they had a little back burner job, which was the fact that Splinter was transformed into a gigantic bat, and escaped. And they heard a news report about giant bats terrorizing a place called Midway City. Now they are obviously now in the Image universe, and things are tying in. That leads us to the issue that we covered last week or last episode on the show, where it was Big Bang Comics that had a story in it about Galahad, who is the character. If we flip right to our first page, we can see "Welcome to Midway City, home of Galahad, the White Knight."
Yeah.
And in this story, and you really want to go back and check out that whole episode because we go way more in depth and there's a lot more to be revealed. But it basically wraps Turtles' history, pre-Mirage history, into the Image universe. In that Galahad, who by day is, what's his first name? Something Reed.
Oh goodness! If you wouldn't ask me, I could have told you.
My normal elephant memory has failed me. I want to say it's Eric Reed, but I don't think that's right.
I don't think that's right either. But I will find it out. So he does. I'll find it.
So anyway, he. So what you have is this Reed character is a attorney by day, a prosecutor by day, and then by night, he is Galahad, and he goes through and finds criminals. We talked a lot about, like, isn't it kind of strange that the same guy that catches the criminals prosecutes the criminals?
Jerry Randall. That's it. That's his name.
Jerry Randall. I'm sorry, Reed is the name of
the original Night Watchman.
His uncle, the original Night Watchman. That's right. Yes. Okay. So Jerry Randall. So we had a big conversation about that. But effectively, what happens is he's on the hunt for an assassin. He finds her, but it turns out that her next target was none other than Oroku Saki. Shredder, if you need him.
Yes, it was so cool.
It was super intense, and that kind of, once again, this is Oroku Saki just as he's taking control of the Foot Clan in the States.
Yeah,
where he is we see a bit of a coup inside the Foot Clan, an attempted coup, resisting him, which was gigantic and one of the best parts of the story.
Absolutely.
But all this kind of by way, it wound up introducing Galahad to the Turtles. By long and short of it, because he winds up running into their very young versions of they're still adolescents. So this is much before the events of Mirage 1.
Yeah.
And just to clarify, Galahad did travel to New York City. So this does not take place in Midway City.
Right.
But it means that Galahad was in the same New York as the Mirage Turtles and the Mirage Oroku Saki. So it's very interesting. Yeah. So that's kind of what happened in that issue. But we open up here and we see Leonardo driving the Triceraton air car blowing into Midway City. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And he kind of lays out how it's called the most corrupt city in the U.S., quote, still run by gangsters as it was during the Roaring 20s with many police and politicians on mob payrolls. And that's on the printed city guide.
Yeah.
That's like in there. Like, we're corrupt. Like it used to be.
Yeah.
Like,
remember the good times?
That's some like make Midway City great again kind of shit, where it's kind of like, but we're already great like we used to be. And you're like, okay, that's a little weird. So it also talks about the Night Watchman, who is a legendary crime fighter, and his youthful sidekick, Kid Galahad. And he does reference the fact that this book seems super old because he knows that the original Watchman retired a long time ago and that he met Galahad when he was a kid, Leo did.
Yeah.
But he was even past being a kid back then. So he's kind of acknowledging, and this is what is kind of cool, is that in Image, at least in Big Bang, the property that has Galahad, characters age in real time. It's very unusual for this to happen. So that is a Big Bang Comics retro story back to when Jerry Randall was Kid Galahad.
Right.
Working under the original Night Watchman, his uncle, Reed. So, but now we're in modern times. And I really like that about Big Bang. I really like that about that universe. It's one of the things that I found really remarkable. Is that they go generational right now.
Right.
So, just constantly de-aging all the characters. Like,
now, I agree, and the interesting thing, and I'm glad you brought it up, is that he was called Kid Galahad back then too. He looked a lot like a Robin Hood, like an Archer character like in superhero comics, like a Green Arrow type.
Like a Green Arrow type,
Robin Hood-esque kind of thing. And now that when he got older and became just Galahad, the White Knight, now he looks a lot more like a little bit of Green Lantern and a little bit of what was the comics? There was a character called Prime. And he was the Superman archetype, and he's had the cape and everything. It kind of looks like
about
that.
The Authority, are you?
I don't think it's the Authority. I think it was like another comics brand that came.
They had a Superman-esque character that was very dark and weird.
But this looks like if Kyle Rayner's mask, if I'm not mistaken, Kyle Rayner, Green Lantern, if his mask was on a Superman archetype character, that's what Galahad graduated to.
Classic Ultraman type.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Right?
There you go.
So they are aging up, which is really cool.
Yeah.
I mean, because a lot of comic fans have thought about this or made fun of this a long time, but Magneto's origin story was that he was a concentration camp survivor.
Yeah.
Which the longer comics run,
the
harder that is to believe.
Yeah.
In the year of our Lord 2022, you know what I mean? And so it's hard when they tie origin stories down to history.
Yeah.
And then we just act like characters don't get older.
Like, right? Speaking of Magneto, do you think that like someone at Marvel's like there's that one guy that one person that's just in the meeting and they're like, so guys, we're getting pretty far away from World War II, and we're gonna need another bad thing to happen. So I'm just saying, if you need me to do it, I've got some ideas. We can run.
Well, we know. Yes.
Do you think that happens? That has to, right?
I mean, maybe. I mean, it's hard. I mean, because you sometimes you're able to like, so any character that has regenerative abilities, typically can live to be very old, like Old Man Logan, right? I mean, like, so he lives hundreds of years. It turns out. That makes sense. Magneto don't got that. You know what I'm saying? Like, Magneto's just a man.
Yeah.
With he's the master of magnetism.
He's a magnet man.
And that's what made X-Men First Class so good, actually, was because when they show his origin story in Auschwitz, it works because it's the 60s.
Yeah.
So it makes sense that he would have been a kid and been spared by the Nazis to be a weapon, and then the war ends and he's loose. You know what I mean? It worked so well in that era because that's when Stan Lee wrote it. It was supposed to be taking place in the 60s, so it all worked out. But now it's way too late. But anyway, so Big Bang Comics characters age in real time. Love it. So you got your boy who is too busy reading the paper. That's what's really happening. Leo's too busy reading the paper. He talks a little bit about what happened in Big Bang Comics number 10. And stuff like that, and he just hopes that hopefully that Galahad remembers him,
right?
Because it's gonna be real awkward if he doesn't. And automatically he smells a smell. He's like, "Ooh, that smell! Dun, 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 dun. Can't you smell that smell?" And then right at the end of that little lead line, a bat is on the windshield. You know what I'm saying? Screaming at him.
Yeah.
And he's
terrifying.
Saying, and he thinks for a minute it's Master Splinter. Love the black and white art on that.
Looks so good.
Oh, yeah. It looks like the Maxell Man. Like how they used to illustrate that to make it look like he was getting blown away by the speakers.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, And that's obviously based on, the Maxell Man's based on a photo.
Right.
But like they used to draw it stylized. And
like
stuff,
where he's in the couch and he's like just blown back. Yeah, yeah.
Go look that up sometime on Google. Just Google image like Maxell Man, and look at like the original picture and like the different versions they did and stuff versus like the illustration. It's really cool. Like the stuff that they worked into it. I'm a big fan of old recording media like mascots or images like the like RCA Victor dog.
Right.
It's like a thing I've always been super obsessed with. Because if you don't know, the reason that you've probably seen that little dog listening to the phonograph, like the speaker's there and he's listening, the horn. That painting is called his master's voice, and the reason it's called that is because one of the early sells for the phonograph was that the reproduction of the human voice was so perfect that a dog would react to a recording of his owner's voice. Which blew people's minds because it meant, oh, that sounds like my voice. So if I call my dog and I play it on this phonograph, he'll like, oh, he's in the room.
Right.
That's how real it is.
Yeah.
And that's why he's listening to that thing and his master's voice. And I need to get that tattooed on me. I just don't know like stylistically how I want it to look. But anyway, that's probably gonna be my next tattoo because I'm obsessed with it. I've been obsessed with it for like years.
You could put my head on the dog's head to where I'm listening to it.
Oh shit!
And it's like I'm hearing your voice.
Oh
yeah, that'd be really
man.
cute. I think that'd work really well.
Man, no, I like that. No, we'll work that out. You can get the same for me.
But yeah. It'd be a tandem tattoo. Yeah, absolutely.
A tandem tattoo. So Leo thinks this cat is Splinter. And he's like, Splinter, it's me, Leonardo. And he's like, yes, Splinter's the master. He sent me to find you. And what you find is he starts talking about, I bring you a gift from the master. And in this case, what a gift from the master is a bite to your neck. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's like, I bring you the gifts. I'm going to make you Batman.
Dang. Yeah.
Or sorry, more like Man-Bat, actually.
There you go. I was about to say, like. You're going to make me rich?
It's a Man-Bat situation. Oh, shit, right? Oh, man. Oh, woe is me.
Gives him a bunch of money.
You know what I mean? So sad. So he winds up like swatting the bat with his newspaper.
Brilliant.
And he says, I don't kiss on the first date.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, he like kind of knocks this dude. He's kind of starting to get away. And he's trying to drive the air car down there, but he's worried that if he gets to the ground, he's going to lose him. Because he'll get in the alleys. He says he knows the city more than I do. There's no streetlights down here, and it'll be a lost cause. So he decides to throw a shuriken at him.
Yeah.
And it does the job a bladed wheel should do when you throw it, and it incapacitates him. Still wheel. Very much like at building roof level. He does this to this Man-Bat, and he just starts falling like a dingle piece of toast. You know what I mean? Like he's just done.
Yeah.
And Leo's like, oh crap. I gotta dead as a doornail. He's like I gotta like try to help him, but he doesn't know what happened. So he gets down into the alley, and that's when he sees some beady eyes behind a garbage can. He goes, "Gotcha, Man-Bat." Turns out it's a cat, but then behind him, oh shit, it's really Man-Bat. You know what I'm saying? And he says, "How now you cannot refuse the master's gift." And he's trying to give him that. He's trying to give him that old dirty insulin, but Leo just doesn't want this to happen. You know what I'm saying?
No, he's not having it.
I mean, this bat's saying, "I don't know what I got, but if I got it, you got it."
Right.
And Leo's like, "What if we didn't do that?" You know what I mean? Like, can you imagine a world where you didn't give me the itis? So he gets a garbage can and lid and smashes it in his face. You know what I'm saying? And this dissuades our would-be smoocher away from doing bad stuff. Then Leo grabs a wooden stake.
This is great.
That was just on the ground.
Yeah, just cuss.
And he's like, how do you like your steak prepared? To which the bat replies, God damn, I thought Jackie Gleason was dead.
Yeah.
Now, your comment may not say that, but that's what our version says.
It's true.
And
it's true. So good.
Yeah. So
if I was a vampire slayer, I would run that. I'd do that all the time. That'd be my catchphrase. Yeah, exactly. Like my car.
Absolutely.
So I'll give you a reference, but my car would be called the steakhouse, but I would have to buy an Outback.
The steakhouse, yeah.
Because our guitarist for our band, the Paperback Whale, he has a Outback, and we just call it
Subaru Outback.
The steakhouse. And it's just great. So yeah, that would be my car. That would be my car, and what it would be called, and that would be my catchphrase if I was a vampire slayer. If anyone was wondering, there you go. It's right there for you.
There you go. So he's about to do the deed. I mean, he's just going to kill him. I mean, that's all there is to it. It's kind of strange because it feels like at first he was like, well, I got to find him so I can track him back to Splinter. Yeah. But he's like, I tell you what, Master's gift, how about die?
Yeah.
And that's how the story would have ended right there, except a very large 1980s Batman, black and gray, arm comes out and grabs him and says, stop.
Mm-hmm.
And turns out, it's the Night Watchman. You know what I'm saying?
Night Watchman.
Love this panel. Love this one page splash. Love the Tonfa in silhouette in the background. Looks really good.
It does.
And really, really great, construction, and really great, kind of like the way that it's oriented is really nice.
It is. I have a question though. Are we sure that that's a Tonfa? Because I thought it was, but but now I think it's a staircase, isn't it? Isn't it the ladder? Because if you go to the next page, I think it's a ladder. You're totally right for thinking, because I thought the same thing. But then I see there's other bars.
What it is? I'm getting screwed up. So Kid Galahad carried a Tonfa in Big Bang Comics. I remember that being a clear thing, because I like the symmetry of it's a policeman's weapon.
Right.
And he's an attorney, and the idea is this is the only weapon I'm going to bring to the table. I don't have guns.
Yeah.
And honestly, or a lot of really fancy gadgets. I've got a Tonfa, and that's what I use, and I like that kind of connection and symbology.
Yeah.
But that is not a Tonfa. That is a stairwell or a fire escape staircase.
Right.
But
it's still cool though. It's still cool though. And this this art is great. So good. Man, they just nailed this.
90s image. Welcome to it.
Yeah.
That's just really good. Proportion a little funny. How do you ever have a shirt? Look at his back. But see, I love all of it. Honestly, it's not like Rob Liefeld. How could you exist?
Right. No,
but it still look bad as hell. Right. It's really great. And once again, black and white, I think really doing a great job. Sometimes it can be confusing in image, and I know that it gets criticism for it.
Oh yeah.
But what they're able to do with stark relief, which is what you're seeing here, is so nice when they just let the page breathe.
Yeah.
So I'm following along in the urban legends, just to see the comparison, and they have to add a red gradient to the background of that whole shot to get the context.
Right.
But here, just you got your blank white space, which is awesome.
Oh yeah.
So love it. So yeah, he's like, I'm not a vampire. There's no need. It's not a vampire. There's no need to kill it. Just hold him still there for a minute, would you? And of course, Leo's geeked out. The Night Watchman.
Yeah.
Your boy winds up pulling that old I Am Legend. You know what I'm saying? He's like, somehow the mutagen is being transmitted with the rabies virus, transforming normal citizens into these bat creatures. Luckily, the treatment for rabies also manages to reverse the mutation. This fellow will feel much better when he wakes up, and he gives him the old dirty insulin. You know what I'm saying? But in this case, he's going around and trying to cure these guys.
Right.
And if you haven't read Richard Matheson's I Am Legend, I mean, I'm just talking the novella. Don't watch the movie. Don't play games. Read the novella. It is one of the scariest kind of cool books ever written. And The Last Man on Earth with Vincent Price is a very faithful adaptation. So you can also watch that if you're not a reading person. But basically, he's like, I found a way to cure him. But he still clocks him.
Oh yeah.
Give the vaccine time to work.
Yeah.
Which is an interesting way of meting out justice there. You figure if he's already got a syringe with rabies vaccine, you figure it would also carry a sedative.
You would think.
Instead of having to knock them out, bust their face open to get them to lay still and take the medicine. I don't it's very strange.
Yeah.
But that's how your boy Jerry Reynolds decided to handle this situation. And he says, now as for you, and Leo has to. This is the moment Leo was kind of worried about. He's got to be like, believe it or not, while I am a product of mutagen, I'm on your side. And of course, Randall's like, oh, I know. The last time we met, we were both much younger, weren't we? Are you Mike or Leo? Which I give him credit for being able to nail it down to two.
Yeah.
That's with red bandanas. I'm surprised.
Well, I guess.
And he goes, I'm Leo.
I guess if you had to say, out of all four of the Renaissance names, Michelangelo, or Michael, if you will, and then Leonardo or Leo are probably two of the they're more common as opposed to Raphael and Donatello. I guess you could say Don, but to stay in his head. So that could be that. But nevertheless, it's still cool as hell that he remembers. Now, the first time they met, he was dead as a doornail in the sewer, in sewer water, and they fished him out, and it was. If you haven't, go read that or go watch our episode 283. Go watch that.
You have to go back to 283 because we drill into that a lot.
So good.
A lot about the kind of like young, like kind of 10-year-old turtles, and like
Yeah.
how they kind of like thought about humanity.
Oh,
Pretty
yeah.
great.
Yeah.
Like,
I loved everything.
Really insightful writing.
That episode worked exactly how I wanted it to in my head. All of your points that you brought up, and then all the things that we back and forth. It was wonderful.
You were saying, it was really good.
Yeah. So I don't mean to pat ourselves.
That one
should
have been behind the paywall.
It should have been.
That was good content. But yeah, like so Night Watchman goes on to say, ever since the lab boys discovered the mutagen in the rabies virus, I've been trying to get a hold of you and Splinter to figure out was your master involved? And they basically catch up, and Leo's like, yeah, like here's kind of what happened. He got kind of turned into a bat. We don't know why.
Right.
We thought he would have become human because that was the last thing that, last creature he touched. But then he kind of has an epiphany. He's like, wait a minute. I'm pretty sure he caught the rabies from a cave full of bats. One of them must have been diseased. Maybe artificial mutagen works differently from the real stuff. Maybe oh no. And he looks and finds out that his air car got stripped.
Yeah.
City. And all the parts are still there. Can you put it together? And he's like, I'm not Don.
Nope. That's not my thing.
Yeah. So back in the lair, in your boy, I take it this is the Night Watchman's lair.
Yeah.
They do cover, like, Leo's like, I'm a little confused, Watchman, what should I call you? And this is where he says, call me Jerry. My real name is Jerry Randall. My uncle Reed was the Night Watchman until you're retired. As Galahad, I've worked closely with the police. Their PR guys have built me into a symbol of hope of hope to the law-abiding citizens of this hellhole, to let them know someone is out there looking for them. And then Leo brings up wait, but we saw the White Knight. He's like, I know it's corny, but it works. The Night Watchman isn't everything that Galahad is. The Night Watchman is everything that Galahad isn't. Scary, dangerous, and a loose cannon, a bad dream. The boogeyman criminals fear him. And he talks about that. Yeah, like he's like, for now I play both roles. Sooner or later I'll have to choose. So this is like just a lot. I'm sorry for reading like everything in the comic, but it kind of describes kind of like what Randall's up to. So Randall now assumes the mantle of both roles.
Right.
The Night Watchman works at night. He's very much the Batman character, works off fear. Galahad, or the White Knight, works during the day.
Yeah.
And is like above board, full transparency character. I do wonder, though, and I don't know enough about him, if he's still practicing law. Because part of me says he kind of can't be anymore.
You can't at that point,
right?
Yeah, no, that was one of the best things about Kid Galahad, was that the next, like, he gets these people, and then the next day he's prosecuting them. Like, that was wonderful. Yeah. And then the other thing is that, like, I love this time in comics, because at this time in comics, you could suspend your disbelief a little bit and not think that there were people smart enough to realize that there's a pattern of when this character shows up, because he has to sleep at some point. And so, especially if they're doing both roles like this. So, like, but and I'm sure that, like, there might be a villain that figured that out. I don't know. But, like, I like the idea that this just makes sense. Let's just roll with it, that he's doing both. And that's very interesting to me. But he's apparently pulling it off.
We joke about him like out until like 4 a.m, and then like trying to get through the metal detector at the courthouse at like 8 o'clock in the morning. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's got to be rough. Like, try to get in and do your job as a prosecutor. But yeah, like, so the last thing they kind of do before I hand it over to you is they talk about right now, though, we got to stop Splinter from infecting others with his virus. We must somehow locate him and inject him with the serum. I don't know if it'll change him back into a rat, or if it cures his madness, but at least it's a start. And that's when Leo's like, listen, hear me out about the astral plane.
Yeah, let me.
And I love it, because Night Watchman, basically, it's really cool, because Leo's like, I think I can contact him. I know this sounds like stupid, but, like, I think I can contact him on the astral plane. I might be able to get a lock on him. And, like, your boy Galahad's like, and we don't know what this reference means, but he's like, hey, man, like, as a matter of fact, one of my best friends is a ghost. So apparently, like, Galahad just got a best friend who's just dead.
Well,
He says, and nobody ever laughs at Dr. Weird.
At Dr. Weird.
His name.
That's his ghost friend's name. Dr. Weird. I love
ghost
that.
Friend's name. And yeah, so then Leo sets to his astral plane meditations, and that's where I'm going to hand it off to you. Good sir.
Yeah, minutes tick by like hours, and you got your boy Leo here now. Leo's that guy right now that you're playing like Mega Man or Metroid, and you get you unlock that new ability, and you're like, I'm gonna spam this. I'm gonna keep doing it. You get that double jump. You double jump it everywhere. You like fast running, whatever the hell it is.
Double jump.
Yeah, exactly. That's what Leo's doing right now. Any chance he can get, he's on the astral plane. Like Leo's also like that kid that just got the internet. Like, oh, he's just dialing up, back in the day, just like, hey, I'm online. Check me out. I'm surfing the web.
It's something that like newer generations will never know.
Never understand.
Like, I guess now it's a little bit more like, oh, like when someone gets their first phone.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I mean? Where all of a sudden they're like, I'll look that up for you.
Right.
You know what I mean? And everyone's like, yeah, oh, cool, thanks.
Yeah.
I was just on Instagram on my phone, and everyone's like, oh god, this guy. Like, but you used to be, when you get that friend who got the internet, all of a sudden your friend was like normal. Because remember, like most people like didn't have the internet. I remember like I didn't have the internet, and my friend got it.
Yeah.
And my friend kind of temporarily became like, we were just normal. We just talked about normal stuff. And all of a sudden, it kind of became like, well, now like all he's telling me is what he saw online.
Yeah,
like now it's all he's doing, basically.
Yeah.
So you're totally right. It's a really good point.
Yeah, he is just so excited about this. Now I get it. I'm not trying to. I ain't mad at him for it. I would be the same way if I could be on the astral plane. One thing you're either going to run into the Shadow King, which is terrifying, or you're going to run into Jonathan Richman, which would be amazing. And then
good call, yeah.
Chances are you might hit your dad Splinter, your rad rat dad, but who's now the bad bat dad.
You might get a hold of the rad rat dad who's now a bad bat dad.
Precisely. And so Leo's running it. He's like, that's cool. And I don't know. This is one of those issues that makes you really fall in love with Leonardo, especially putting him in the passenger seat, putting him in the sidecar. Like he is out of his element, and he's trying to impress somebody that Leo's thought about this guy for a while. At least that's the context I'm putting on it. Like that was a superhero that Leo saw at a very formative age, Kid Galahad. And that was something that, Leo likes to look for, like law, and he likes order, and he likes all these things that Kid Galahad presumably, represented. And so this is like, I get kind of, it's like when you see your friend get excited about something that, or it's more aptly, at least to me, it's like when you're watching a YouTube video of somebody cracking packs and they're trying to get them Pokemon cards. Oh, yes. It's like, I'm never I'm not getting anything. Like, I'm not getting a physical thing from this, but the enjoyment of seeing somebody else enjoy something is really great. And I'm feeling this way with Leo, and I think this might have been what you were talking about earlier in the pregame show. But yeah, but this is just fantastic. Leo's I wonder if he brought. Did Leo just bring all those candles? Did the Night Watchman have them around? Like, I don't know. I have maybe like 5 candles I could get. Well, that's actually a lot of candles now that I say that out loud. I was going to say that's not a lot of candles. It's a lot of candles.
I think on hand right now, I have 12 candles.
Yeah.
But it's only because they're like, I bought this like little camping lantern.
Right.
And it has like 3 like candles in it, kind of.
Okay.
Spring thing, so it has like proprietary candles where like they keep going up, and you don't have to like they don't melt down.
Oh, okay.
Interesting. It's a cool lantern, anyway.
Huh.
I bought a whole box of citronella candles for it.
Okay.
Because it comes with standard like white just wax candles, but I got citronella, which are the ones that's supposed to keep mosquitoes away.
Right.
And I bought a box of them. So yes, on hand I could just go light 12 candles right now. But
let us know.
Normally the case.
Yeah, I want to know. Email us turtlesoupshow@gmail.com. Let me know how many candles right now y'all can get your hands on. Like, just
right now, if someone said
your house,
if I said, look, I gotta contact your boy Eric on the astral plane. I need all the candles you have. Like, how many candles would you have around me?
Right.
I need to hear. I need to see that in chat.
We need to see that. Chat, email, let us know. But yeah, Leo's here. And he's chilling, and it's kind of funny. This is interesting that your boy's just watching him, which is, I mean, what else are you gonna do? But yeah,
patience.
So he's just waiting for that to happen, and it's about to be daylight soon. The nights last forever in comic books, which is one of the things that always weirds me out. Is that as an adult, time flies by even faster as you get older, and it's just like, goodness, where do they find the time to fight crime? I can barely find the time to eat dinner and watch something. So anyway, we find out that the Night Watchman actually has a fear of bats. Oddly enough, which it's a little convenient, but he's talking about we gotta figure this out soon because the trail is going to go cold and the bats are going to go into hiding, and he's talking more and more about how he hates bats, and then we get the thing where the bats come through the window. Now this lair is in a a high rise, kind of like a tower, if you will, and they're like there in front of these massive windows that are just overlooking the city, as you would imagine a nighttime vigilante would want to have his lair be. And so these bats, they just run into the windows. They don't care. I wonder if at some point when you make windows, you can have bat proof windows, but then at that point, how do you test that? Do you have to test real bats? Because I imagine there's some law against using real bats to test how strong. No.
They probably do it how they test airplane windows, where they take euthanized chickens or ducks, freeze them, and then shoot them out of a cannon at the window. That's real life.
That's real life. That's how they test windows in the air.
Yes.
So basically their assumption is if a frozen dead duck could break these windows, then we got to send it back. But if not, they're good to go.
Yes, absolutely, because that's what they're worried about is bird strikes. That's exactly what they have to test.
Oh, that makes sense. They're in the air. Yeah, that's true. I totally blanked on that. Yeah. Wow, I was thinking that was absurd, but no. Now, is it a cannon? They wheel it out and they light the fuse kind of cannon, or is it a modern cannon?
No, it's not a black powder cannon. It's an air cannon.
Oh, okay. The same thing that killed Mont Flanders.
Yeah, no, they freeze them. They put them in. And they shoot them at about the speed that if a duck or a geese was flying toward you, and the speed of the plane, if you add those together and get the force, they shoot it out at that speed.
Wow.
Into that glass and be like, does it not get destroyed? So you can launch dead animals into things and it be legal, but there has to be a process. I believe that they're
fascinating,
already euthanized, or they were going to be food anyway type situation.
Oh, okay.
And they shoot them.
So
do the same thing for jet engines as well.
Because if one gets in there, it could mess. Oh, okay, I see. Wow.
Absolutely. Actually, a lot of jet engines you'll be surprised at how little they give a shit about just eating a bird and shooting it out the backside. I mean, it's some smoke. And then
kind of we're the same way, aren't we?
It's kind of crazy how fast the turbine's spinning. Yeah. How much they could actually just survive that, though.
Oh, that's insane.
Yeah.
Can you imagine if, a phoenix, a bird goes in there and then a phoenix comes out the back end of it and it's just caw-caw.
I mean, there's footage. I don't know if it's on YouTube anymore, but there was footage of a jet engine sucking a human into it and shooting it out the backside, and the guy lived.
Oh, like the Human Torch. Dang. He's going to go get denied a bank loan.
It was a Air Force jet. Yeah, sucked the dude out and spit out the backside. He was super hurt, but not
but
dead.
Still, not dead is always preferable. Well, maybe
that's
not always.
Always preferable to dead. But anyway,
yeah. At least that's what I hear.
Oh, you're right. You got to open up some room for some times where
99.9%. Anyway. Yeah.
The bats come in the window.
I loved that. Thank you for that insight. That joke went a lot further than I thought it would, and I really was glad for that ride. So the Night Watchman's losing it. He's keeping us cool though, and he's just, well, Leo, wake up! We're being invaded, and so bats are just everywhere, and he's like, bats, dozens of them, they're jumbo-sized. Oh my goodness, this is nuts.
Giant-sized man bat is what
giant-sized man bat, exactly, and giant-sized man thing, only less thing. Leo's still chilling, just sitting out, relaxing, and your boys are just flying all around, and I love this because they're talking about the master, Master described, and Splinter's the orchestrator of this, and it's a brilliant way to do this. And so Although it's a little confusing because the bats keep talking about how Leo must join them. Like they need to convert him essentially. And so at this point, the Night Watchman is saying that he can't see in the dark, obviously. So he throws a flashbang because the bats, they can see, or at least they have the sonar, or there's something weird because with the man bat thing. And so he throws the flashbang.
Eyes. Like they do have eyes they use instead of the man bats use eyes.
Right.
Instead of sonar, I believe.
Oh, okay. That makes sense then. Like, yeah. So it's like a little bit better. Yeah, it's a little better vision than your normal. But then you got your giant sized man bat thing crying his eye, like rubbing his eyes because they're burning. And so the other interesting thing is
turns out flashbang will do that.
It's not just
because he throws a flashbang.
Right. So it actually. Yeah, no. I saw it. Yeah, we were talking about it, but like, I guess what I'm saying is that it's a burning sensation, or is it just like that was bright?
The only evidence I have for that is that if you get flash burned by an arc welder, right, like so, if obviously that's why they wear hoods, right? If you're welding, you're not supposed to look at it.
Yeah.
Any welder will do this. The light is too bright for your eyes. Actually, it'll burn your retinas.
Oh, that makes sense.
It's called flash burn. And I've been flash burned twice. Not that bad in comparison to like other ones I've heard about, but within about 5 minutes, your eyes feel like they're full of sand.
What?
And it really hurts.
Oh,
your eyes are really sensitive to light. They get bloodshot, and you think something's in your eye. Is how it feels. The first time I got flash burned was the worst one.
Yeah.
And I was at the house the next day in the dark. Like your eyes get super sensitive to light. So if his eyes are keened up for the darkness and he saw a flashbang, with his anatomy, it may be enough to flash burn him.
Ooh.
Which would be physical pain.
He's got a bright light. Yeah, he's got a lot going on. So but he definitely says that they're burning. So the other thing is that he calls the other little bats little brothers. And
brothers.
Yeah, so the Night Watchman brings out his syringe again, which this is a little much for me. This dude's pretty trigger happy with the syringes. I'm just saying right now. Like this is let's just drug him.
It's the proper use of that old dirty insulin. I mean, like he's got the man bat tied up in his little line thing, and time to go. Time to take your medicine. You know
I mean, I get it, but it just seems a little. He seems a little happy with his vaccine, if you know what I'm saying. So but so
that's what we need to start doing around this country now.
I know, right? We just dress up as a man bat, and then there you go. So
for your own good.
Now, I don't know if we mentioned this. They also the Night Watchman and Leo, they took the bat creature that they fought at the very beginning. That character is here in the lair with them, recuperating. And so he is already back to being kind of a bat, the way he was. Because I don't think we saw him deform. So he runs and jumps out the window because he's like, freedom, and he jumps out the window, and as he's doing that, now he deforms and or reverts back to being a man. And I love your boy, the Night Watchman. This is literally all he does is watch things happen at night. He's just watching this. He watches this guy fall to presumably.
It's not just a clever name,
right? Yeah, no. And so I love this. He's just like reaching out his hand, like, oh no, I can't get him. And but then your boy Leo,
stop! You're in great danger.
Exactly. Your boy Leo. Oh wait, did it jump back? Yeah, jump back. Hold on. Your boy Leo throws down. What does he call this thing? He calls it a something. He here. Let me find it. It's a Kaganawa, which is I guess his ninja rope. I guess is what you call it. Like the thing that I guess is essentially Michelangelo's grappling hook from the 1987 animated series when they got rid of his nunchucks. Like that would be the equivalent, I guess. But it's probably the thing that has a blade on the one end.
It is the classic climbing hook.
Oh,
the rope and then the hook that's the shaft that slips up into 4 hooks.
Okay,
it's a grapple. It is basically what he has.
Okay, excellent. So I was right on.
It's Mikey's grappling hook.
Nice.
Yeah, it's a. Yep. That's what it is.
Oh, okay, cool. So yeah, Kaganawa. All right, we got it. So yeah, he says so Leo like kind of shifts because now he's got one up on our boy, and he's like, it's a luckily we I had this and we saved him from a fatal belly flop, those are dangerous and they run rampant in Florida. That's one of the leading causes of death in Florida is fatal belly flops. Just putting it out there. So Absolutely. Be careful out there, y'all. It's summertime, so you know how it goes. But Leo's like, hey, not only am I here in the flesh, I also contacted my dad. I talked to him. I called my dad on the phone. And Leo's like, so the Night Watchman's like, okay, did you get any pertinent information? Leo's like, no, not really. Just that he's out of his mind.
No, he's wild.
Yeah, he's wild. Yeah. Got rabies and got in a lot of pain. That's all I really know. And but we got to help him. So at this point they've got the I get confused. Is this the guy? Yeah, because the guy reverted back to a bat again, right? Is that right? Yeah. No. That
guy's still. No, I get confused. No. That's the one that he hit the second time with that older insulin.
Okay.
He's the one that he got up there. The one that was fighting.
Right.
The dude that turned back into a human still hanging.
That's right. I see that down the
bottom.
He's
still hanging out.
Yeah. It's tricky with all these bat people and the black and white art. It doesn't. This is par for the course for the black and white art. But nevertheless, they've got two bat creatures captured. One is still a bat, and the other one is human dangling outside the building. And so your boy the Night Watchman's trying to get that we can convince this guy, the bat, to start talking, but he takes off. He's like, never, and I'll never betray the master. So he takes off, but they've still got the other guy down there, and Leo's talking about how he's no boy wonder. But the thing is that now we're seeing the Night Watchman step up and say, hey, don't worry about it. I put a bug on the guy, the bat creature that flew away. Mm-hmm. And we'll be able to, he'll lead him right to your boss or his boss. No, he says your boss, hopefully. And so, so that's the game plan right now. And this is where Leo and the Night Watchman kind of bond a little bit more, where they're a little more comfortable with each other because they get in his Night Watchman car, which looks like a one-door, really long future sedan kind of thing, like a sleeker, like it's I don't know, it's a little more aerodynamic and stretched.
What's the thing they say in Sin City? Like all new cars look like electric shavers.
Oh my goodness! I don't know if that's what they say, but that's brilliant. Yeah, that's what that looks like. Yeah,
it's basically the truth, though.
Yeah, it is. It kind of looks like Rideron from Kamen Rider Black RX. His or is it Black one? I think it's RX. Yeah, his car a little bit without the fin and stuff. But so that's kind of what it looks like. But just imagine all black. That's it. So Leo's kind of like talking about how cool the set of wheels are and stuff like that, and he's like, hey, are you taking applications for any sidekicks? And this is where it gets a little bit more Batman and Robin 60s type stuff. He's like, I'll let you know, chum. But meanwhile, we tracked him down to this place called the Mine Shaft, which sounds promiscuous, if you will, where old Dad Splinter is hanging out, making making funnies, if you know what I'm saying. And so so the plan, Ryan, the plan that the Night Watchman and Leo come up with, here you go. It's you try to inject Splinter with the antitoxin, Leonardo. You do that.
Yep.
I'll try to keep the others occupied. That's what I'll do. Leo goes, that doesn't sound fair. That sounds a little one-sided. It's not, that doesn't sound fair. And as they make their way in, the Night Watchman drops this one. Okay, I'll try to give you a hand too, chum. And I'm like, dang, got him. That's where Leo would have said, I thought Jackie Gleason was dead, but
absolutely.
That's where Leo would have dropped that.
I thought Jackie Gleason was dead.
But now I have a question for you. So Ryan Guy, now you're reading with the Urban Legends reprint, and I'm reading from the Image run of this. Now my particular copy that I got from my cool uncle, digital copy, is has this next page upside down. Is yours upside down by any chance? Do you recall?
Absolutely not.
It is not. Okay.
That's your scan.
It's my scan. And now, for those who don't know, the cool uncle version of these comics are notorious for having some different things going on with them. This is one of the cooler ones, in my opinion, because this is where we see that yes, they hit the nail on the head. Like that, this is where all the bats are. This is where every bat in Midway City is. They got them all.
The old mine shaft.
If this was Pokemon, they would have caught them all. Like this is it.
You just catch them all right here.
Right here. So so they go into this place and there's all these bats, but they're hanging upside down. And I was like, oh, this is brilliant. If it's the thing,
you think they pulled a Greg Capullo on you?
Yeah,
that Snyder Batman, where that comic starts to turn as you read it. Yeah, did the old Greg Capullo.
Exactly. So I was like, oh, that'd be kind of neat if any page was going to be upside down.
Absolutely, it's actually a really cool page to have upside down. I agree.
It is
because it's really neat.
No, I couldn't read any of it because I don't read upside down, so I don't know. But based on the pictures here, they go in and all of a sudden, one of them realizes that they're there, and they're like, "Oh, it's actually Splinter that realizes it." And then as bad Bat Dad, and Leo's like, "Don't you recognize me, Master Splinter? Like I'm your son. Like I'm already." I already call you Master because Master Splinter's like, you'll call me Master. He's like, I already do. Then they're like, oh, well, you're the demon that haunts my dreams, is what Splinter says. Ooh, which is fascinating that like as a rabid bad rat dad, Splinter's having nightmares about turtles. And we heard earlier in the comic that there were bats saying we got to kill every turtle. Like we hate turtles. Like turtles are the worst. And at this point, the Night Watchman comes in and just throws smoke bombs. Just drops them. Just throws them out. Yep. And he's fumigating everything. He's just doing it. Which is nice to know that he's got like a backup job if like this superhero and attorney thing doesn't work out. He can just go fumigate for bats. Yeah. And there you go. So he runs out of the mine shaft. All geared up, so he's not going to inhale anything, and it turns out that this gas that he just dropped in the mine shaft is a improved maximum strength antidote in gas bomb form. To deliver it instead of he ran out of syringes is what he's saying. He had to use a gas bomb. Yeah. So now you get all these weird disheveled people just coming out of the mine shaft, which is nothing normal or nothing out of the usual for the mine shaft. This is how
especially in that kind of form of dress either. You know what I mean? Like things precisely. What happens in the mine shaft stays in the mine shaft. And you just see this about Saturday morning about 4:30. That's just what you normally see.
Exactly. And but thankfully the Night Watchman, he's there and they recognize him, which is really cool. And they say they're trying to figure out what's going on. And he goes, y'all are just waking from a bad dream. Don't worry about it. I've called ambulances. They're on their way here. So y'all are going to be good. Meanwhile, we got Leonardo in the smoke with Master Splinter. And he's got the old dirty insulin still too. And he's about to inject this into Splinter and see what's going to happen. Now, this is where Splinter's like, no, poison. No, I got to get out of here. No, we're not doing this. So he burst out the window of the mine shaft, and Leo does classic thing that turtles end up doing a lot is they jump out windows. Apparently, like I remember very vividly from the arcade game, like once you beat the first stage, they jump out the window after Shredder and stuff in April. Yes. Yeah, so it's kind of like this, but Splinter gets on old bad Rat Dad's back, and he's there. Leo, I apologize. Yes, I thought I'd said that, and then I got wrapped up in the alliterative thing, and then it was a mess. So Leo's like, I'm going to help you whether you want me to or not. So he is imposing this thing on Splinter. And he goes, again, Splinter is just doubling down. Like, in case you didn't understand me, I hate you, Scree. I hate all turtles. Just making sure that's clear. Splinter wants you to know I hate you and I hate all turtles. This is where the heartstrings come in, Ryan. This is where it's just, in the arms of an angel. It's
like Leo's like little Danny Tanner moment.
Oh yeah. This is where he brings it home. This is where
when the soft electric piano like starts to play and you realize like this is the moral of the story.
This is it. This is the part where we got to pay attention for those who didn't get all the jokes and need some serious stuff. Leo, in response to this, says, "Too bad, because I love you. You're the one who taught me about tough love, and you taught me something else. Take your medicine. It's good for you." and he just gives Splinter the old dirty insulin. And
that's right there.
Splinter's like, and he did a barrel roll, and he knocked Leo off and threw him into a bush and took off. And then this is where the comic ends, and it's great. You've got the Night Watchman just in the bottom corner. Let me see if I can zoom in a little bit. He's like, what's going on? Like, what's happening? And then Leo's like, I got him. And he shows the syringe, and it's all bent, like, and it's so tiny and weird. And Leo is steadily throughout these 3 panels just keeps falling out of the tree, and he's like, "What? Oh, he's flying away, like he's flying out of town." Because Leo was asking, "Is his dad transforming?" And the Night Watchman is informing him that no, he's just going. So Leo completely falls out of the tree, like, "Oh, really? All that work for nothing?" And the Night Watchman says, "Chin up, Leonardo. We saved Midway City and hit Splinter with enough antigen to cure a herd of elephants. We fought the good fight today and won. I'm proud of you, Leo. Mighty proud." And that's when Leo hits the ground, hits the dirt, and Yep. And that is the end of this story. And that is it. Yeah, that was very interesting. I enjoyed this a lot because you got to see Leonardo in the support role, and seeing Leonardo be a fan or enamored with anyone or anything. There's something like enjoyable, for me at least, with that look into him. And then the fact that he was able to kind of be like, oh, like, put me in, coach. Like, I've got this. I can get a hold of my dad on my new cell phone that's on the Astral, my Astral phone, if you will. And so that was really cool seeing that. And the whole thing with the sidekick stuff, that was really fun. And I want to see more of Leonardo in that role and that, because it's just, there's something genuine and pure about it in a weird way. And I might be like, hyping it up too much, but it's what I enjoyed the most out of this. And I love how weird this is for the Night Watchman, because at this point in time, this is 97. So we're in the thick of Batman going dark, right? Like, he's the Dark Knight now. Like, he's not just the Caped Crusader that we grew up with and the super friend. Now he's like, the Frank Miller got a hold of him in the 80s, and then we're still feeling those effects in the 90s. But the Night Watchman, given his dual personalities as Galahad and the Night Watchman, you see both of those. And in fact, the more now that I'm talking about this, Ryan, it's probably getting close to daytime. What if the Night Watchman, the more closer it gets to daytime, he changes to that persona? What if that's a thing? Wouldn't that be awesome? Like, I love that.
That'd be kind of cool. It's kind of like, like, is there a time? Is it when the sun comes up? Technically,
right?
Is it like if there's still shadow behind the buildings, he could be the Night Watchman. But when the shadow gets too bright, he has to become like Galahad. I don't quite know. There has to be a demarcation time.
Yeah, but I mean? I love that idea. I think that's fascinating to me.
Yeah, it's pretty great.
Well, what do you think of this issue? Did you like did it make it? I just want to know did it make it better, the Galahad thing? Do you think if we didn't read that, we would have gotten the same enjoyment out of this?
No. Yeah. No, I don't think so. I think that issue is pretty essential because it says a lot about Galahad. I wouldn't really care about Randall and what he's up to, honestly, if I hadn't known his background, especially because it's kind of a prequel background.
Yeah.
So a lot's happened in between, and he's definitely changed kind of his alias, and he's changed his identity. But you still know that that's his background. You know that he's like that. He used to be the prosecutor by day.
Yeah.
Kid Galahad by night, and I think that really matters for everything he does, because this is a very Night Watchman, Jerry Randall centric comic, frankly.
Yeah.
The minute he gets involved, he's there every step of the way. It's his city. Okay. So Leo's just a visitor here.
Right.
And he has the run. He knows what's going on. And so it did. I think it really did improve my enjoyment. A lot of times, they say, go back and read this comic, and you read the comic, and it's, like one page of relevant, and you're like, okay, like you could this meeting could have been an email. You know what I mean on some of those editor notes.
Right.
However, right. However, here though, I think it does add a lot of like metatextual knowledge and rhetoric, frankly, to why you should care. I think the thing I love the most about this issue was that it was snappy, man.
Yeah.
It it kept you on that trail. It didn't really have a B or C plot, which is like huge. And a lot of the comics lately kind of have like an image. They do like to have a, well, meanwhile we're here, but over here, you know what I mean? And that's really great. And normally that's the kind of comics I like reading. I like reading comics that have like multiple plot lines running.
Yeah.
But this felt like a fight issue, except it wasn't a fight issue.
Right. Oh,
but it
definitely.
felt like a straightforward fight issue, except what if we just actually also told a story in it? So it was really clear cut. I really liked it. It didn't waste my time, and it was compressed, but in a really good way.
Yeah.
I thought.
Definitely.
So I really liked how snappy it felt as a single issue, and yeah, I'd say probably my favorite part is the pacing was really well done.
Right. Yeah, I agree. I think it had enough substance, but kept like we were talking about with the Night Watchman being both sides of Batman. How like, you know, you had the dense 90s like Chris Claremont style like uncompressed dialogue. And then you have a lot of the action and the movement and the pacing of like more traditional or like original or like early comics, I should say, where it's like, we're moving things along a little bit more. And I think that this comic definitely benefited from that, and I thoroughly enjoyed it too. So
for sure.
Well, what did y'all think of this? Did you enjoy this? Did you like Galahad?
And did you?
Yeah, we want to know all of your thoughts about this, because like if you didn't listen to us and you just read this issue or if you skipped the last episode of the podcast and just went straight to this one, we want to know how your thoughts or how that affected your opinions about this issue. Let us know. We want to know. You can leave a comment below, get in the chat with us because we'll talk about it after the show, or you can email us turtlesoupshow@gmail.com. And if you want to go back and listen to that episode, the one we keep referencing, you can do that by going to turtlesoupshow.com, and which is the home of the internet. You'll find all of our episodes are up there, and we should be on every podcast app, I think, now. If not, let me know. And some of you have let me know about Spotify. We're working on that, so we'll get to that soon. But still, if we're not somewhere that you want us to be, let us know, and we'll see about getting there. But nevertheless, turtlesoupshow.com, you can listen to it there always. But then if you want to find and talk to more Turtletarians about all this stuff, you can do that by going to Facebook and looking for Turtle Soup Group. We are there talking about all kinds of turtle stuff, and it's a lot of fun. You can follow us, Instagram, Turtle Soup Show with the underscores between each word. And yeah, that's, I think, all of the stuff. Oh, YouTube. We're on this YouTube thing. I keep forgetting about this thing that I'm looking at.
Of course.
So if you want to help us out tremendously, you can do that by subscribing, liking, and commenting. And that really does get our metrics running and gets us 6 to midnight. And we really appreciate that. And to everyone who's done it, thank you so much. And then if you want to be a part of the few, the proud, the many, the brave, I'm saying a lot of contradictory things. If you want to go above and beyond is what I'm trying to say, you can go to patreon.com, look for Turtle Soup, find we've been making a podcast for almost 10 years now. And
getting close to it.
You could throw some pennies our way to keep us from saying clang and to be part of those that we call family. And they keep the show and the lights on and everything else running. And you can look on there, and we're going to update it pretty soon with some new stuff because I've been working on some new designs and whatnot. So we got a lot of new stuff coming out. But check that out if you want to throw some pennies our way. We really appreciate it. And thank you to all of our patrons who've been with us all this time. So, yeah. Well, I believe we'll continue on. Next week, I think we will. You have something that you have to do next week.
Yes, I have a work function that cannot be avoided. I must work Thursday night, sadly. But I'm out of pocket.
Yeah. Is it on the astral plane?
It's by the end of the night. I've only worked one of these before.
Yeah.
By the end of the night, it usually feels like I'm on the astral plane.
Okay, then that's good. That's good. Well,
I think I walked out of the Hilton like floating. I don't know if my feet hit the floor.
Right. That's great. So we're not sure. I might jump on next week for a minute or two, depending on if any news happens or time permitting or whatever. But if we're not, whenever we come back for the Prime episode, we should be in issue 10. So for those following along,
absolutely.
And so be sure
through Image. So
so we're making our way through. So I'm really excited. So hopefully it continues to be as good as it has been, and so we will find out. So again, thank you so much for joining us, and we will catch you next time. Else time.